Hello, welcome back. Today's episode is one that I think every teacher and every school leader needs to hear, and it's about one of the most overused, underdelivered promises in our industry: support. Every school says it, right? We support our teachers. Love that. I love that slogan. You'll see it on the little glossy brochures. You'll see it in every hiring conversation that you have. The mission statements have it. Sometimes it's even like plastered on the walls, like little motivational posters and stuff like that during observation week, of course, clearly. But here's the thing: teachers don't feel supported by slogans, and support isn't like a vibe that we have. It's not a marketing tool, and it's not even a mission statement. Support is a system. So today I'm going to unpack what support really looks like, how you can tell the difference between the buzzword support and actual support, and why this matters so much for teacher retention, professional development, and, let's be honest, basic sanity of your teaching staff. Hey there, it's Kelly, and if you're here for miracle fixes, shiny classroom hacks, or whatever today's buzzword is trending, yeah, not gonna happen. What you will get is real talk about English teaching, teacher training, and the chaos we actually deal with in ELT. So let's get into it. All right, so let's start with the problem. Schools. Well, kinda. I mean, I don't want to be brutal, but I'm going to be. So schools love to say that they support the teachers, but too often it's kind of like this PR move. I don't know. Like, think about it. How many times have you heard support in your teaching career? And it's like, yeah, where is that coming in? For example, we offer professional development. Great, except for it's like literally the same generic professional development workshops that have been recycled from 5 years ago, and there's no connection to what the teachers are actually struggling with in the classroom at all. Like, you didn't even ask the teachers, hey, what would you like to hear about? Hey, what's something you're having troubles with? No, just like, oh, let's do this one on lesson planning again. Change the date. Or how about, we value resilience? Here's the translation for that: we're not going to change your workload, but we expect you to magically cope with it. Here's some more. Or the very classic: we're here for you, but there's never time in the schedule to sit down and actually talk through problems. That's a bummer. Mm. Actually, I think this one might be my personal favorite. I have it written down here. We step in when there's a crisis. Well, Jesus, maybe sometimes it's like we ignore the problem until it becomes a crisis, and then we'll tell you how to deal with it. Maybe you should just say that because we step in when there's a crisis. Well, like, how did it get to crisis mode? How are we at crisis? Like, how do we go from a small problem to crisis? And there was nothing done, but with crisis, we'll step in. Cool. That's not support. That's like gaslighting with a bow on it. So teachers know the difference, and they don't feel support when someone says the word. They feel it when they have it in their daily system and choices that the schools make. So what does real support look like? Um, well, this is my opinion too. I always say that in my podcast, but this is my opinion. So this is what it looks like for me. And maybe if what your view on it doesn't, it like differs wildly from mine, then maybe, we probably wouldn't work well together at the same institutions. But here we go. So, like, real support for me is very proactive, very consistent, and very intentional. It's not about like swooping in as the hero after everything falls apart. No, it's designing a system so that it doesn't constantly fall apart in the first place. Okay, all right. So, concrete examples. Let's focus here, Kelly. Regular check ins. So, instead of waiting for the teacher to start drowning and not being able to raise a flag, school leaders should just schedule regular check ins, like low stakes check ins. not performance reviews. Like, I'm not talking about, okay, let's sit down and have like fill out the forms and like a conversation. Conversation, a simple, how you doing this week? Need anything from me? Students okay? Like, that's it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's like that. It's as simple as that, honestly. Just, hey, how are you? Just checking in, making sure you're all right. Two, space to reflect without fear. Because teachers need to have a space to ask questions and admit something they're doing is not working. And if they don't have that space without worrying that they're going to be like judged or penalized or fired or whatever, if you don't have that space, your staff is going to be hiding problems from you because they're afraid of looking incompetent, unprofessional. They don't have a support system. So you have a culture of fear. That's it. Because they have to be able to say, I'm failing in this aspect. They're not failing as teachers. They're just like this. I don't know. This kid is, I don't know what to do with this kid. Like, I don't know how to get this kid learning or excited about the process. Okay, so let's sit down and talk about it. Time and resources. Support is not just saying, like, great job. Save it for, I don't know, get a little sticker, put it on your trapper keeper. If you if you know what a trapper keeper is, then you are of my generation. It's giving teachers time to plan the materials they actually need and realistic expectations around the workload, because sometimes we honestly, teachers just need a lot more thinking time. Like, we need time to sit down and process things. It's not like we're processing payments that are coming in. Like, we have to think about, like, okay, if I did this and how would that, like, we need that time. So you can't demand miracles and then call them uh, like inefficient if they're not they're not giving time and resources to do it, that to do what they need to do with that. So yeah, it's like the little uh I've seen people get like little coffee vouchers and like, oh, here's a pizza party. No, I don't need that. I need actual time and resources to be able to do my job. So let's try and do that. And the fourth one would be to prevent burnout, not just respond to it. So support, in my vision of it, should not be reactive. It's preventable. And that means you need to design timetables that make sense. You need to balance class loads. You need to give people autonomy to manage their classrooms without micromanagement. You need to do all of these things so that they don't get to the point of burnout. Because if teachers are getting to the point of burnout, then your system is completely broken. So yeah, it's just a little bit if you see like a couple teachers burning out in institutions, and then you have to kind of think, well, what's the institution not doing that they should be doing that's causing all of these people to have issues? So those four things, again, regular check-ins, space to reflect without fear, time and resources, and preventing burnout, not responding to it. Do you notice what's not on the list? What's not on the list is a flashy app, marketing gimmicks, or Teacher of the Month awards. None of that matters if teachers are exhausted and unheard. Those are nice to add on if you have a healthy system. This is just my opinion. So, why this matters? Well, I mean, this is just kind of stating the obvious, but why should I make this distinction? Why am I banging on about buzzwords versus support and real support? And because teacher retention is the number one challenge most schools face right now, at least the schools that I'm working with, especially the ones here in Brazil. You don't fix retention with higher salaries alone, though fair pay does matter, but you fix it by creating an environment where the teachers feel safe, valued, and heard. And in my work with the schools, it's the one thing that actually retains great teachers aren't the shiniest little tech tools and this, that, the most polished print. They're the schools where teachers can honestly say, I can ask for help and I don't feel like a burden. I have everything that I need. And that right there is like magic. So if your teachers can say that and really mean it, not just say it and say, yeah, I know I have everything I need, you've built something sustainable. But if your staff is thinking like, oh, I can't bring this up because then I'm going to look like I don't know what I'm doing, or it's just going to get thrown back to me, it's never going to get resolved, guess what? You've got teachers who are already one foot out the door. And support is like the biggest trust builder that you can do in your school. And it really, really keeps the team together. Real quick before we get back into it, I've got some free goodies for teachers waiting for you. Think big wins and things you can use right away. Grab them at the link to my site below, and let's dive right back in. Okay, so here's the last piece. I know I rant sometimes, I get it, but here's the last piece that I want to leave you with. That support isn't this sentiment. It's not about saying like we care. Support is a practice. It's action. It's visible. It's consistent, and it's very intentional. And that means it has to be built into the way that your school runs every single day. Every single day, not just during observation week, not just when a teacher hands in their resignation letter. Every day, it has to be consistent. The schools that get this right don't need to advertise that they support teachers, because the teachers themselves are the proof. They stay, they thrive, they recommend a school to other teachers, they reflect back on it at teaching seminars and events and saying that, oh, I had the best time there. It was one of the best experiences that I had. It really helped me grow. So if you're a school teacher listening to this, I'll challenge you with this question. Like, if you're a teacher, not an administrator, if you're an administrator, that's your challenge. You need to create that environment. But if you're a teacher, if I ask your teachers right now, do you feel supported? What would they honestly say? Like, what would you say? Do you honestly feel supported right now? If you don't love that answer, for school administrators, maybe it's not too late to change, because you're going to have a whole new wave of teachers coming in, because I guarantee you your retention is going to drop. So let's recap. Yeah, support is not a buzzword. It's not public relations. It's not something you can just print or slap on like a little handbook and call it a day. It's a system. It's proactive. It's check-in, space for reflection, real resources, preventative design. It's trust. It's daily practice. It's action. And schools that truly get this, not just say it, it's like the words, okay, you say it, but you don't do it. The ones that really do this are the ones that are keeping their best teachers. They're building real communities. I know that people love to say that in this industry, but real communities, like really people want to interact with each other and actually deliver on the promises that they make to their students and to their staff. Because at the end of the day, if you have a teacher that's unhappy, that's only going to reflect poorly in the classroom. Just saying. So if you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, our school support strategy is more like a PR than practice, well, you can always reach out to me, because I would love to help you design something better. Because at the end of the day, you don't need to say we support our teachers as much as you need to prove it every damn day. So that's all I got for you today. That's it for today. If you want more, I've got binge-worthy playlists right here on the channel. You can also grab some resources at kellypenningtonelt.com, Instagram at kellypenningtonelt, and yes, even LinkedIn, where I do my best impression of being professional. Links below. See you in the next one.